Welcome to the shop here, Doc's Customs and Restoration, where we work on a lot of old guitars. So, looking at this beauty, this is a G&L F100, 1981. Gold mist finish, gloss maple fingerboard. One of the cool things I think about working on older guitars is what I'd call the sleuth aspect. And you really try to look through this and figure out what may or may not have been done to it in the past. This guitar is fairly original. The nut's been replaced, and unfortunately looks like I'm going to have to replace it again. Just not a particularly good job. We'll see how it works out in the end, but again, in relatively good shape. Somebody has managed to install a late model, shall we say, later 80s whammy bar mount bushing and bar on this guitar, which is really pretty unusual. I don't think I've ever seen that before, to be honest with you, though I'm sure they're out there. Luckily, I have the parts to put that back to original. I like these. Got one around here. Well, I make my own at some point, but I really like these original sort of Fender type bars. They just are just much more useful to me than these longer bars for playing. This one, just because of the way this one's set up, it just rides way too high. So I have to figure that out. But going back to what I was talking about, sleuthing, this guitar has very little wear on the frets. I mean, they're worn a little bit, but there are no real grooves or divots in here at all. And down here low, or well, really high, on the maple fingerboard, there's like some craze checking and stuff, and you can see where there's gloss that, if here's your fret, there's gloss kind of goobed up into that space. So, I don't know, are these the original frets, or did this guitar get a refret at some point in its 37-year history? You really got to think refret, but if so, somebody did a really good job on this, if they did refret this, on spraying the fingerboard gloss again. Other than, like I say, we got some of this sort of check cracking going on down here, high up on the fingerboard, and we don't see anything like it anywhere else on the neck. So, a little unusual. Could be possible they got the finish on here a little too heavy. There's some spots that are just look weird, where there's gloss that's sort of peeling off the edge of the fret. Unusual. Maybe it's original and this guitar just never got played much. However, the body has some wear dings on it, ding, 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 here, and another real wear spot back here by the peg, strap peg, which is a little unusual. Anyway, what I'm getting to here is that the main issue that this guitar has right now, talking about this refret, is that all of these frets, for some reason, on the bottom side, are really sharp. I mean, your hand just feels them going up and down the neck and playing. You're just like, this is really, no good. I can feel this. And the interesting thing is, the top is not like that. There are a few right in here that are a little sharpness. Now mostly, if you run your finger along like this, you don't really feel it. I got one there. By being just below the fret edge, you're feeling for nothing but the tang at that point. The thing that holds the you know, you got your fret, and then this is the tang holding the fret into the fingerboard. And so sometimes you'll have, you know, when they chop off the fret, if they don't get it smoothed out, then you'll get some sharpness there. But all of this sharpness is coming from the corner, basically the end, the two corners of the fret where it's exposed just slightly. Now, if this was a rosewood board, boy, this, you know, you could cure this pretty easily and not have a lot of difficulty. But on a gloss maple fret board, you gotta be really careful. And normally, you'd want to tape this whole thing off before really doing any fretwork on it. You'd want to go serious on the white, the easy release white tape. This good old stuff right here, and cover everything. The only problem with that is, even though this tape is extremely thin, to pull off getting rid of this sharp edge on this fret, if you got the thickness of the paper in there right up next to the fret, you're really going to have a lot of trouble getting to that sharp edge, because your file is going to ride up just enough on that white tape. So what do? Normally, I would use a triangle file like this. This is a StewMac 1601 file. And the cool thing about this versus a lot of other triangle files is that it's smooth on its, you know, where the two file surfaces meet, the point of the triangle. It's smooth, so it's good because it's not going to freaking, you know, make a huge divot in the neck if you use it. But it's a little tough to get sometimes to get the right angle on things with this, you know, with this triangle file. It may help somewhat. We'll see. You're definitely going to have it in the arsenal here. Now this is a fret end dressing file, and this is a StewMac 1175. Now, this file again has two filing surfaces, and then it has a flat edge with 90-degree corners, and then the other side of it is round. And this round is just, it's really a great thing when you're doing dressing fret ends. It really helps you get in down where you need to be, because you can roll it just slightly, and then you're right there to where you're still getting some edge of the end of the fret, but and you're able to get some angle, but you're not taking off any gloss.